You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode 150. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I am going to conclude the story of how I got into coaching and created a successful coaching business. So this is part 3 of the trilogy of episodes. If you haven't already, make sure you listen to the previous 2 episodes of this podcast. In the first part, to give you a recap, I talked about how when I was a teenager, I experienced a major health scare when I was diagnosed with a thyroid disorder and how this frightened me and scared me. And I went through years of anxiety around my health, but it also served as a wake-up call for me. And how sometimes in life we are given the scary experiences that also become wake-up calls for ourselves in allowing us to start thinking about the life we want to live. And for me, that was the wake-up call. Thinking about how I wanted to show up in my life, not waste a single day. No, I want to know that I was embarking on the life I felt called to embark on and not just live the comfortable life that I knew didn't really light me up or create much meaning. So through going through that wake-up call, I discovered the career path of coaching. And then in part 2, I talked about how I was so aligned in becoming a coach. My heart was in it, but my head wasn't. I had a lot of fears around it. So I had met up with a coach that I found, and I picked her brain, and she helped me realize that you don't need to have the perfect life in order to be a great coach. You just need to learn proper and useful coaching tools. And I realized I just need to learn the tools in order to be successful. And I tried to go at it on my own, and I tried to teach myself coaching, but I thought if I have a big mission and I want to impact a lot of people, it's going to require big support. So that's when I decided I was going to invest in coaching and get formal training. And I knew that if I wanted to be an extraordinary coach, it would require extraordinary level of mentorship and support. So I had made an investment in a premium level coach training program, learned how to be an amazing coach, but the challenge I was left with after I got certified was, how do I start a coaching business? How do I actually find clients? So I felt like I had all of this confidence in helping people, but I just couldn't piece together the marketing and the selling side. So in this episode, I want to talk about my first few years that I started my coaching business, what they were like, and some of the lessons that I learned. So I got my certification and I began to do what I thought you were supposed to do when you become a coach. I made a fancy website and I spent hours and hours and hours writing on my website a biography about myself, and I made a page about what coaching was. And I thought, okay, all I need to make is a nice little website, and people are just going to find me. And then I realized, well, that's not exactly how it works. I need to actually go out there and I need to meet people. So I started to do that, and I began putting myself out there. I experienced a lot of rejection. I experienced a lot of people that were simply not interested in coaching. So in my first year that I had put myself out there as a coach, I ended up not enrolling any clients. I didn't make any money at all. And this was a bit challenging for me. However, in that year, even though I didn't have the outer success that I was wanting, I also grew a lot as a person. I feel like work had to be done on me before it could work for me. So I developed so much resilience in that first year. I became so perseverant, determined, and I also became very curious. I was curious to learn, okay, if this doesn't work, then I'm curious what does work. And I thought of it like it's just a puzzle. I just got to keep moving things around and eventually it's going to come together. I didn't have a lot of privileges that I know that some other people have when it comes to having and starting a business, I didn't have a family that had lots of money to give me and allow me to invest in my business. I didn't have like any investors that I was working with. I was bootstrapping my way through entrepreneurship. I didn't have a large network as well. I had been early on in my career path, pretty fresh out of college, so I didn't have the connections of other professionals. I was starting with a very small network of people as well. But what I did have was I had the desire and the commitment. More than the desire, I had the commitment to help people and to get this work out into the world, because I knew that if it could work for me, it could work for others. I knew that if coaching can transform how I see myself, going from being introverted and shy and insecure to being someone that is confident in who they are and what they have to offer, then this work can work for anybody. So I would do so many wild things to market myself as a coach. I remember at one point I put up signs around college campuses offering free coaching sessions to students that were looking for a coach to help them navigate life after college. And I did so many other things. I was working a part-time temp job, and in my free time, I was working on my coaching business. So I was able to have some flexibility. And after, I would go to various networking events. And then finally, after my first year, there was finally someone that I met with, and she was interested in learning more about coaching. So I continued to follow up with her, and she decided to hire me, and she became my first paying client. And I want to tell you that the moment that she decided to work with me, it felt like the whole world was opening up in front of my eyes. I thought, if I can have even one person pay me to coach them, then the sky really is the limit. If it's possible with one person, then it's possible with another and another and another. And if you've experienced it before, I know our coaches in the academy, when they experience it, it is such an amazing feeling. That first client that you get. If you haven't had that moment yet, I want you to imagine it right now. Imagine yourself meeting another human and that person saying, yes, they want to pay you for your coaching. And they're eager and excited to pay for it. Think about what kind of possibility that opens up for you. So I worked with this client. I had an amazing experience. She decided to hire me again and enroll an additional bundle of sessions. So I loved working with this client. And I realized when I was working with her that the way that I met her was very organic. It didn't require me to be salesy or pushy. It didn't require me to pay for ads. She was just another person that I had met. And that's what I discovered, that the best way to grow a coaching business is organically, meaning having genuine conversations with others, creating value, and inviting them to receive support. You don't have to be manipulative or pushy or aggressive. It simply is about connecting with someone, offering them some form of value, and then inviting them to work with you. So all of those aggressive sales strategies that I was hearing about, they didn't align for me. But when I approached my business with this strategy of using organic marketing, this is what allowed me to feel in my integrity as a coach. So I continued to apply this exact same process where I would meet people, I would offer them value, and then I would invite them to work with me. And I would start doing workshops as a way to also grow my business. So I would put together workshops, I'd have people come to my workshops, and then after giving them value, I would invite them to work with me. And in the next 2 years, I was able to bring in around $300,000 with my coaching business. And it continued to grow from there. There were times when I went from having like $1,000 months to $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000 months. And then eventually I had my first $10,000 month, which also was incredible. I had never thought that I would have a $10,000 month. It was just so out of what I would have ever thought was possible previously in my life. And then going on to have 20, 30, 40, $50,000 months, I was just so amazed at the directions I could take my business and how much flexibility I had in the process. I was able to do a lot of one-on-one work. I also began doing group coaching, and I did workshops. I led retreats. It was so fun to offer value and support to others in all of these different ways. And one of the greatest things about running a coaching business is you really do get to decide what level of value you want to offer and what you want to charge. One of the ways that I decided I wanted to stand out more as a coach is by offering more premium level coaching services. And I was a little bit concerned about this because I didn't think that maybe people were willing to invest at that level. But then it started to happen. I remember that first client that decided to spend $5,000 to work with me. It felt incredible. And then the next client who would invest $10,000 to work with me. And at one point, I remember I had a client hand me a $37,000 check. And that was more than what I used to make an entire year before I was in coaching. So it was incredible to see what kind of opportunity there was to not just make a great income, but also make a great impact, because both of those were so important for me. I didn't just want to make good money doing this. I wanted to feel like I was really offering value, like high value to people that they really felt amazing about investing that level in themselves. And there were so many benefits that came with running a coaching business that I really didn't even know when I was getting into it. Like, I was just so amazed by the way I was able to live my life. I realized when things took off, I had total freedom over my schedule, and I had so much job security. I had the most job security that I'd ever felt before when I had been working temp jobs or contracting jobs or all the other previous jobs and gigs that I had before. I didn't really feel a sense of job security, but because of the success I had with my business, I was able to develop such a cushion of like a safety net of income that even to this day allows me to feel like so secure that I'm going to be okay no matter what. It's also amazing, like, to be so fully invested in the creative side of running a business, like being able to use your creative gifts in whatever way that you want, not feeling like you have to withhold or keep your gifts to yourself. You really get to be as creative as you want to be in this work, not just in your marketing, but also in the way you coach. Like, you can be creative. It's not just, no sessions were ever the same. So I never felt like the novelty had worn off when I was doing coaching. So I love to travel. It's one of my passions. And it was incredible to have these chapters of my business where I would be traveling throughout the year and still running my coaching business and still making more money. Like, there were many times where I'd have to pinch myself and think, is this even real? Like, is this allowed? And it was so amazing to see things take off, because this is exactly what I wanted when I got into it. And it's also been one of the other incredible perks of running a coaching business and having that kind of success is I've been able to donate and contribute and give back to various causes that I've cared about. So aside from the income portion, the most fulfilling part of the journey was seeing clients and how they transform. Like, literally seeing people transform before your eyes in a session, just by applying one tool or one question, seeing people that have had years or decades of challenge or stress around a topic, it's suddenly going away, and knowing that you were able to help facilitate that process. The other most fulfilling part of the journey was the person that I've been able to become in doing this work, in really stepping into the role that I felt all along I've been called to be, a transformational leader in the form of coaching, and being able to see this version of myself, because this version of myself, it never would have happened if I just decided to, like, follow the comfortable path that I thought maybe I should follow, but I knew that that was just fear-based, right? I knew that if I just went into the corporate world and just kept my head down, that was all fear-based, that was all just me chasing comfort instead of really pursuing growth. And I feel that when you make decisions that allow you to grow, those are the most fulfilling decisions in your life. So being able to see the clients transform and my transformation has by far been the most fulfilling part of the journey. It has not always been easy, but it's always been worth it. It's taken a lot of effort to be successful as a coach, but I also believe that any meaningful pursuit and goal in life is going to require effort, right? It's part of the equation. So I was running my business, having all this success, and as I had the success, there were some people that started to reach out to me and ask me how they could also start their own coaching business. And by this point, I had quite an amazing experience coaching at all sectors of our industry. I had done a lot of relationship and dating coaching. I had done coaching, a lot of spiritual and life purpose coaching for the LGBT community. I had done corporate and executive coaching. You name it, like whatever area of coaching, I was involved with it. Group coaching, one-on-one, workshops, etc. So I thought, okay, well, why do people keep asking me how to coach and how they can start their own businesses? So I decided, let me give it a shot and let me start to share not just what I've been able to use with my clients, but also how to simplify the business side, because I knew that's the missing part for me that I devoted, as you know, an entire year of not getting any results. I was very exhausted. I was very stressed. And I wanted to make it 10 times easier for someone who also had that same calling towards coaching so they could see their coaching business take off. So I began to teach people how to do it. And then I was able to see that they were able to understand the tools I was teaching them, and they were able to have faster results than even I had. So I thought, what if I organize all that I've been teaching and create a comprehensive training program? And that is what led to Thriving Coach Academy. And in the academy, we have a program that offers both pieces of the puzzle, the art of coaching and the business of coaching, teaching people how to be a coach and also how to start a coaching business through organic marketing, through being able to have genuine connections that you form with others, through being able to offer value to people and invite them to work with you in a very heart-centered way. And also knowing how to create a high-value coaching program that you feel confident charging at a premium. And I found that this is what really helped me scale my business. It was not by blending in with all the other generic life coaches out there. It was by standing out as a coach that had a specialized skill set, helping people with a particular problem, more of an actual focus, and also having a premium level program that stacked on a lot of value so people felt confident making that investment. And I found that if this can work for me, then I want to teach it to others. And at this point, I've been able to train over 1,000 coaches, and it's been so amazing to see the success that they've had. And I will be really honest with you, I had a lot of resistance to training coaches because it was not originally what I had set out to do, not in my original path. But I have found that sometimes it's like when people are like your people find you and your calling finds you. And I found like people were asking me to do this, and I'm like, what if I just surrender to where I'm forcing my life to go and just follow with what direction it's leading me and the signs it's giving me? And it's been very rewarding to see others and be able to help them start their own coaching businesses with the support of my team. So that is how I got into coaching. And I am so passionate about this work because I know how it's transformed me and how it also transforms our entire planet. The world is in a place where coaching and coaching programs are needed more than ever before. People are wanting to grow and evolve and create extraordinary lives, and they need the help of coaches in order to do it. So this is why I love coaching so much. And if you are someone that feels a passion for helping others and you feel called to serve and show up in a bigger way, if you're someone that values freedom and flexibility, you want to live a life on your own terms, you want to have an amazing income that you can use to provide more to yourself and your loved ones, and also be able to create a significant transformation in other people's lives, then you are a great fit for coaching. So if you're looking to take that first step, head over to our website and you can learn all about our coach training program from start to finish. And we would love to have you inside the academy. I believe fully that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So if you are already called to coaching and you're listening to this podcast, then perhaps we are the teachers and the guides, our program. We are here for you to support you in getting your coaching goals achieved. All right, that's what I got in this episode. It has been really fun to dig deep and share pieces that I had never shared before. So if you're loving this podcast, remember to leave a 5-star review, write a couple of sentences about what you love about the show, and subscribe so that you hear about more of our episodes. Before we go, I'm including a snippet from an interview I've had with one of our coaches in the academy so you can hear their story, how they became successful, and some of their tips for you. So enjoy their story, and I will see you in the next episode.
Hi, my name is Meryl Wheaton. 15 years ago, I took one of the best coaching programs that was available at the time. And it was fabulous. It was rigorous, but there was not very much support, direct access to the instructors, the professors, and there also wasn't very much business training. Then there wasn't a lot of tech training. I launched off and started coaching, and it was very good at the beginning. And I decided I wanted to go back for coaching, but I wanted the best program that was available. And the Thriving Coach Academy was clear and just mountains better than any of the other coaching programs out there in terms of the offerings they had, the how they let you continually use all the education materials, how they encourage you to practice, practice, practice. There's opportunities all around all the time. They have great business training. They have podcast trainings, and it is so well worth the money. At first, you think to yourself, oh, this is a lot of money. I realized that this was money so well spent. So historically, I've not been very tech savvy. And I found that in setting up an online business, that the Academy has been incredibly supportive, and that every turn they will help me. I didn't even know how to use Zoom, and so they helped me all along at every step of the way, any question I had, and they were completely, you could ask twice, 3 times, 4 times and get an answer that was really, comprehensive and something that you could really execute. At the beginning, I was very concerned because I'm having a problem with my spine and scheduling myself for surgery in the near future. So I didn't think I'd be able to show up because I couldn't sit at a desk and I really couldn't look straight into the camera. And I was a little embarrassed about that. And so it was causing me to be worried that I couldn't really be fully present during some of the calls. But gradually, with the support from the other students and the teachers, I have been more confident. It doesn't matter. They're very accepting. And I am now able to just feel confident and not embarrassed about my challenges. And it's been wonderful. In addition to the other things due to my health challenges, I specifically went to the director and said, I may have to go through the program not on schedule. And he was just fine with that. Because of their wonderful policy that you can reattend and reattend and reattend any part of the program, he said, that's fine, take your time, do whatever you have to do. And that was just a gift because then the pressure was off. I so appreciate having a chance to tell other people about the Thriving Coach Academy, because it has made such a difference in my life. And I think at a minimum, you should research it, even if you're not going to be a coach. It makes you a better person. And I think that it's something that everybody should look into.
Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.